Hello, everyone. I'm waiting for more people to get in. I see one person in the chat. I mean, one person in the live watching. Oh, good morning, Irene. Uh, while we're waiting, I noticed does anybody remember the video I did called "Violence Isn't the Answer"? Well, when I went to look for that video, YouTube didn't give me a strike or nothing, but they mysteriously just deleted the video without me knowing it. And I just think it's funny they would delete that video because it was pushing for TIs not to do anything violent. But I did a video called Violence is Not the Answer 3 or 4 months ago, and it's just mysteriously just missing. Other than that, nothing much going on this morning. I was talking to another TI, and you can ask Holly, like, uh, I said, Holly, come here and listen to this. They were making like childish farting noises on the phone. And then I told the TI I was talking to, I was like, hold on, let me get a different device to record it. And as soon as I done that, they stopped. But Holly heard it. I was like, man, childish perps doing stuff like that. It said removed. I didn't see, no, I don't even see it, much less saying removed. Irene said it said removed. I don't see no, they didn't tell me nothing about no removed. Wonder how they can see it and I can't. Hmm. That's crazy. It said removed. I didn't remove nothing.
Hmm.
Hey, KS. Okay, so what I've been noticing, um, I had this TI we talked to this week. I've talked to this TI about 7 hours, man. This guy is terrified. He's drove from one end of the country and back to the other end of the country. He thinks there's a hit on him. He's being stalked heavily. They're doing all kinds of psyops on him, and I'm trying to get the dude to see that it's just part of stalking and part of the oh no, Irene, that wasn't me. That was YouTube. I did not delete that video. I promise you. That matter of fact, that's one of the videos I wanted to stay up. Violence isn't the answer. Um, that's insane. Uh, so anyway, what I'm saying is, what was I talking about?
The guy traveling.
Oh, the guy traveling. I've talked to him. He reminds me of me. This guy is really, really in some psychological operations right now, and he's done spent all his money, and he needs people to talk to. So another thing I noticed is, so I go to try to find conference calls because they used to have conference calls all night. You could stay on the conference call. They had conference calls that ended like at 6 in the morning that would stay all night. Now, for the most part, we try to stay away from conference calls because there's a lot of stuff and goes on in them conference calls. I'm not saying I've met some good TIs in conference calls and I've ran into some perps that perked me in conference calls. What I'm saying is it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, hurt mine and Holly's feelings as much as we really help behind the scenes. We really help TIs behind the scenes and we go to TI events which is supposed to list every TI stuff and support these TIs and they didn't support us. Our channel is not listed on TI events, and that kind of hurts when you're genuine and me and Holly can show countless receipts for over the years where we've helped TIs. So why is all these TIs on TI events and they don't cover us? I just think that's really really highly suspicious and highly weird. But maybe it's because we cover only truth. We try not to stand up for no BS, and we try to look out for TIs. That's the only thing I can figure, because this channel's been around 3 years, actually helping TIs. We don't talk about what we do, but we can show receipts. It just hurt our feelings that we're not listed, but everybody else is, and some of the people that are listed, we know for a fact don't do a damn thing for the community, but take donations. But let's not get into that. I'm gonna switch up. But another thing I noticed they're doing is so I started arguing my points. Uh, I started arguing my points on Twitter the other day. So I was arguing about implants. I was arguing about the technology that they're using to scan people is not proper, which he's updated this technology just then, but he still ain't got an ultrasound. I encourage any TI who gets a scan to get an ultrasound with the scan to verify it. Okay, so anyway, so what I noticed is when I started arguing, what the system did was they're capturing the response every time I argue. So Holly gets home at a certain time. All right, so every day after they captured that arguing response, and this may not make sense to some people that don't understand the technology, but what they do is they record, don't be arguing on the internet. They record the reaction. And when you get enraged, arguing, they record your brain, they map your brain, they've got your brain waves mapped out. So they map that reaction, they record that reaction, and they're able to play that urge to argue, argue, argue. And every day at the same time, Holly, tell them 5 days in a row, arguments, 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 online, arguing. And then it'd be 4 or 5 hours straight, I'd be argued. And then I would realize I'm entrained. They had my brain in training. I'm focused on nothing but arguing, arguing, arguing. And it's all mind control games. They keep injecting that impulse to argue. And then here's what they're doing now. They'll get perps to come on YouTube and put stuff like, David, my video is shadow banned. How come yours not? Well, I've shared many times that I take time after I make each video and post it in 50 different places on Facebook and everywhere to beat the algorithm. But that's not the point. The people who ask me that know that, but they want me to respond and argue so they can record that and keep playing it back and entrain my brain again. And if you look at how to defeat CIA mind control technologies, the post I did yesterday, you'll understand what I'm talking about. A lot of time when they're probing your response, whether it be street theater, gang stalking, whatever, what they're doing is they need the response for verification, and it's hard to explain. So then, like another example is somebody put yesterday, well, why don't you talk about the man in Kentucky? Well, I'm assuming they probably already knew I did talk about the man in Kentucky already, but they needed that response. So if I'm not interacting or if I broke brain entrainment today, listening to music, doing whatever, multitasking, they will probe me for a response. So they'll already know that I've talked about the dude in Kentucky. They already knew that, but they put the comment there because they wanted me to respond. They needed to tie me back into the computer because I broke brain entrainment, and and that's how it goes.
I promise I'm not a perp. I barely comment.
Programmed to be confrontational reruns from loops. Yes, yes, yes. So they're recording that. So what I did was I noticed every time Holly and me are at the same time of day or sitting there trying to enjoy ourselves, I'm in this heated argument and going down and keep picking up the phone, arguing, arguing, arguing. And they're playing that impulse to do that over and over in my head, and then it ruins our time that we've set aside to spend together. Um, and so now that I've noticed the pattern and noticed the impulses they're injecting, because I noticed it so strong last night when I was trying to fight it. And that's just a perfect example of how mind control technologies work. They want a reaction for verification, and once they get you verified and they got that reaction recorded, they can play that reaction and impulse you to entrain you again if you break brain entrainment. It's hard to explain. um, I'm gonna share something. I got it wrote down. Oh man, and I hope am I making sense, y'all?
I need to read those comments.
Am I making sense, or do I need to explain it better? I mean, because I want everybody to understand how this is working. Trying to find something, Holly. Can we read? Can you show me the comments so I can find something in my phone? Okay, let me read some of these. And we ain't gonna stay on but about 30 or 40 minutes today because we got stuff to do. Hello, Olamoka Puss. Hello, Hood Ross. Uh, Conversation with one. Program to be confrontational.
Promise I'm not a perp, I barely comment.
I promise I'm not a perp. I barely comment. I don't even know who you are. Uh, uh, Big facts. You right. It's all recordings. Keep doing what you're doing. It's biblical, divine education, authentic research of truth. Simply amazing work. Thank you, Pineal Gland. We try. Uh, I clicked this while this was live, and you immediately mentioned CI mind control technology. I was just uh, watching a video regarding the CIA. Pretty sure they were saying hello. Oh, okay. Yeah. But you got to watch out arguing on here too, is what I'm saying, is because they'll put questions they already know the answer to get you to respond or get you to argue, and then they capture that response and they can use it against you. So they're trying to create a cognitive model of your brain. And I'm gonna figure I got something to read. I seen it. Last response, the last response of the victim becomes the pattern for the next wave of torture and harassment. The remote neural monitoring system is designed to provoke you emotionally so they can generate response statistics, which the system will use to determine how to interpret and link descriptions with data captured about your memory references. This is why they're constantly trying to keep you talking or constantly stopping you and asking you for directions, etc., when you're out. Once they have consistent statistics, the system will use previous choice references and inject them into your subconscious thought during normal activity, which is also referred to as impulse injections, to convince you that the response was your own and influence you to complete or describe the reference by making the appropriate verbalizing or performing a related action, which is known as verification. You can fight or control this if you learn to defeat these memory attacks by learning to read active memory. Once they see what you respond to emotionally or intellectually, they will fabricate conversational or situational scenarios, street theater, based on events or topics they know that will capture your attention. The purpose of the RNM system is influencing you using a deadly game of remote neural deception and manipulation is to give the attackers, hive mind teams, cognitive research, and the brain computer interface the ability to restrict you at will and to allow them to deceive or manipulate you subconsciously. So every time I get on Twitter and I'm going down, so it's taking time that I could be spending with Holly, and it was every day at the same time. It would take 2 or 3 hours of my time. I would be obsessed over arguing, respond, respond. So my brain was in training; they had control over it, and until I broke brain entrainment by listening to music or whatever, quenching, redirection. There's different ways you can break brain entrainment. Every time you break, and especially if you're somebody who practices brain entrainment, breaking it, they're going to come at you. So I found out people will throw comments out there saying stuff they already know or just to get you in a dispute. That way they can capture that response and entrain you back to the system because they don't want you living free of brain entrainment. And I'm gonna stop ranting on that, but I hope that made sense to people. That's very important to learn. So I was falling for what I'm teaching people not to do. You see? Okay. I actually had witnesses in my home who heard the direction or sound or frequency pointed at me when they moved near me themselves could hear it. And what's important, the reason they're doing it is simply to take control of your life, to put you off your divine path and guide you down the life path they choose. Exactly. Exactly. They want me stressed out, arguing, uh, ignoring Holly, not having no time to spend with her. Just it's and there's so many different situations. It don't even have to be the arguing situation. It could be impulses of pain, um, but they want to keep you reacting. They want to keep you talking. That's why some if you go on some of these conference calls, some of these perps will keep you talking. They will keep throwing questions out, stupid questions, and keep that KI talking to capture that situation. And that's why I'm not arguing on X no more. I'm not going to argue on Facebook no more. I know what's what, and people's just going to have to see through the deception themselves because there's a lot of deception going on. Uh, they try to catch you in negative motion loops to control behavior. I think it piggybacks on cortisol stress somehow. Exactly. Yes. The vagus nerve. Look into that too. I'm glad I'm helping you, Hood Ross. Ashwanda's amazing. You get a little stress and they will use it. Yeah. Yep. They don't care about what you're talking about, just that you are responding. Exactly. Yeah, they're not even really looking for an answer. So example, uh comments like you need to do more research or my video's shadow banned, why ain't your shadow banned? Well, they are anybody who's watched my videos know that I put blood, sweat, and tears into breaking the algorithm of YouTube. And anybody can do this. It's simple, and I've told people this. Well, see, they already know that I'm shadow banned, but I put my videos in 50 or 60 different places. That way it can be seen. Because that's the only way to beat the algorithm. You're not going to sit on YouTube and just put a video out and as a TI and it get anywhere. You got to take the time to join 50 or 60 groups, whether you participate in the groups or not, or talk to people or not. You still use them groups to get your YouTube video out. So you join 50 or 60 groups on Facebook. Then you post your link on X. So you're posting 50 times in Facebook, 50 different groups your link. Then you're sending links to your friends. Then you're posting on X, Telegram. So then your YouTube link is everywhere to be seen. So then people's TIs will be curious and be like, hey, I want to watch that video. But if you just make a video and expect YouTube algorithm to benefit you, you're not. But see, these people already knew that. But they were probing me for a response to get me to respond because they have to capture my brain entrainment because I'm constantly breaking brain entrainment. Okay, let's see. Toward the terror. That appears to be the reason they target an individual. What do you think the bigger goal or reason is? The bigger goal or reason is because if they ever complete that cognitive model of your brain they're trying to complete, you're basically screwed. That's why you want to keep controlled breathing will break brain entrainment. In your nose, out your mouth. While you're breathing in your nose, you keep your mouth closed, and then when you go, they're trying to create a cognitive model of your brain, and once that's complete, they've got you. So that's why they're doing it to thousands of people. They're trying to tie everybody into this cognitive model, hive mind, whatever you want to call it. Irene said, Holly, I share all your stuff because it's happening right here. Mossy Man, had long time no see, says, God bless to all in here. I load up my stuff with tons of hashtags, everything. Bro, I made up a name and say I'm afraid of him, and then they will torment with that name like I'm really afraid, but I made that name up. Wow. Training AI mapping for brains, control the mind, brain entrainment. Every time the planes fly overhead, slow your breathing down as slow as you can. And it derails the anxiety from hitting me. There is a bigger picture here, but understanding the basics is important too. Yes, it's real important. And the reason it's important is because every time you react, every time you respond, the system's building a cognitive model of your brain, a digital twin of your brain, and you don't want them to do that. Some people claim if they ever complete the cognitive model of your brain, you turn cold-hearted, your heart is seared with an iron, your conscience is seared, and they've got your soul. I just disagree with that. I just cannot. I don't think man can steal the human soul, which is will, intellect, and emotion. But maybe I'm wrong. So it's important either way not to stay brain entrained, to break brain entrainment all day, whether it's listening to music, task switching, since multitasking was such a big word last week and big ordeal. Task switching, okay? Task switching, spontaneity, redirection. Them simple things right there can keep you from brain entrainment. Um, I'm curious. What do y'all think the ultimate goal is here? Let's go. Let's see some response, some question and answers. Toward the terrace that I had police encounter yesterday lasted 3 hours. I only uploaded the last half hour. Got to file the conversion to get the rest up. They don't just they don't they just ignore everything I say to them. Don't expect the police to help a TI. Amen. Hi, Alson. I don't believe it either. They can't get past God. Believers are protected. Amen. but they can. It says so in the Bible. What are you referring to? They can buy and trade in men's souls. Yeah, I mean, if you sell your soul and write a contract of blood, like these musicians do, these music stars or whatever, and sacrifice a family member and do all that. Uh, but can they take your soul without you willingly giving it up? That's the question. Can they steal your soul without you willingly giving it up? So if you don't have the love of money, if you're following God, the Most High, and the people say, well, and I think this deserves an explanation because somebody was confused, but it's all been straightened out. Somebody said, why do you say the Most High? Why do you call God the Most High? And the reason I call God the Most High is because it's mentioned 48 times in the Bible, to and the reason I started calling God the Most High is Psalms 91 supernaturally helped me out of situations several times. I said it out loud. I know it from my heart. So if you it starts off, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High. So I always called him the Most High. After I seen the situations and that prayer working in my life, I'm like, man, I'm in the secret place of the Most High. So I call God the Most High. And then I looked it up one time, and it's mentioned 48 times in the Bible, even mentioned in the New Testament. I think in Luke it says, "O Son of the Most High God." Um, so I'm just trying to tell y'all why I say the Most High. Divine Creation wins. What do you think is in the phone contract or app you downloaded? What phone contract or app? Yeah, so he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He's my refuge, my fortress, my God. In Him I shall trust. Surely He shall deliver me from the snare of the fowler, and from the perilous pestilence He shall cover me with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the destruction that lays waste at noonday, nor the pestilence that stalks at darkness. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked, because He has set His love upon me, even the Most High. Hold on, because man, see, I done got tripped up. I know the whole thing. Uh, I'm saying the last person right now. Because you have made the Most High your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will be with him in trouble, because he has known my name. For he shall call upon me, and I will answer him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. You think I know that just from memorizing it? No, I know that from saying it and it working. That's why I'm so big on Psalm 91. And that's why I said it out loud to prove to you that I really do say this. I'm not just out here just saying, oh, I read Psalm 91 and really I don't read my Bible. I really read the Bible. Don't they know? Do you know they tell you they own the intellectual property? What does that term mean? It means your own thoughts. Perfect love cast out fear. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody hit me up. Now I'm gonna have to get out of the house and file this. I have a 17-page declaration you can take to the courthouse for your neural rights saying nobody owns your brain. Nobody can own your thoughts. Nobody can own that. You're declaring your sovereignty of your brain and you're declaring your cognitive rights. It's a very good. I'm surprised when I interviewed James Martinez, and I don't see eye to eye with everything he
Right.
he talks about, but that declaration's a good declaration, and all these people watching my channel ain't none of them emailed. Maybe 5 or 6 people emailed me for that declaration, and the whole purpose. I paid $26 a month, which I don't have. I'm broke. Um, we're trying to feed cats and can barely feed the cats outside. We got 15 cats outside and can barely feed them. So I'm spending $26 of my money trying to get the scoop and Patreon account of James Martinez to help y'all out, and ain't nobody asked me for it. and it's a declaration of your brain rights. Very important, because if they come and do what dude said in that right there, it says, he said, when they download the app, you agree to terms and services. That nails all that. That's a declaration in court, 17 pages, professionally written. And I paid $60 because it accidentally went on another month to try to try to help TIs and stuff, to get that declaration, see what was going on, get the scoop. And it just seems like nobody's hit me up, and nobody cares. But I'm not accusing y'all in here. I'm just saying, like, I got 7,000 subscribers, 3,500 are have never watched the video. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of psyops going on in this channel, and they're trying to destroy it, which is why my channel is not listed on TI events, and it's not going to be listed on none of these websites. Why? Because I call out bullshit when I see it, and they don't want nobody that calls out bullshit when they see it. That's the only thing I can figure, because this channel really does help TIs behind the scene. So why would, if you're running TI events or you're running some website supposed to help TIs, why wouldn't you firm to a channel that's actually helping TIs? Sorry for ranting, but it just really upsets me. Hi, Carrie. Ponca City, Oklahoma. I was in Prague, Oklahoma, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, uh, Seminole, Oklahoma. I got perped pretty good in Oklahoma, especially Broken Arrow. A few years ago, the ATM said, all I need is a white van to pull up at my Holly. A few years ago, at my ATM, I said, all I need is a white van to pull up. Every single day I'm having white vans. The drivers just look at me. Wow. All right, so yeah, remember, and this, oh yeah, so you got to understand, and the reason I just found this out about TI events is I went last night because I have a friend. If anybody's willing to lend an ear and help this guy, because I can only stay on the phone so long, and I got stuff around here to take care of, responsibility. So I've spent 2 hours on the phone with him daily trying to help him realize he's been to one side of the USA to the next other. He's terrified right now. He needs somebody to talk to him. I've talked to him 2 hours a day the last 5 days. I went to TI events to find a conference call to try to keep, because he likes talking to people. He feels more comfortable on the phone right now because he don't understand the psychological operations of stalking and all that, and he thinks he has actually somebody's trying to kill him. And I'm telling him about the street theater, telling him how they run psychological operations to freak him out and make him make all the wrong decisions to destroy his life, and then they're gone. Plausible deniability, can't prove none of it. It looks like he made decisions and went crazy, was on drugs, whatever, and destroyed his own life. So if anybody would be willing to help me talk to this guy, spend some time on the phone out of their day. I mean, I've done spent 2 or 3 hours a day on the phone, and I hate referring people to conference calls because a lot of these conference calls are infiltrated.
Mossy man.
I can talk to him, David. All right. Uh, well, let me. If you'd like to, if you would email me your number, and then when I talk to him today, I'll ask him if it's okay. Well, I'm sure it will be. Uh, but yeah, so we know it's just crazy, man, and I feel for that guy because that's me. I'm looking at me when I talk to him. He's terrified. He left North Carolina, drove to California to San Jose, got perped, and he's spending all his money. Classic case of stalking and organized and all this.
Organized stalking.
Yeah. So now he's on his way back. He's done made it across America again, and he's almost out of finances, and now he's freaking out, and now he's got a camper, a car, and I've been trying to help him and direct him, and when he finds somebody that's going to help him, he gets scared, and I said, well, look, eventually you're going to have to trust somebody, and just to have to learn how to go off discernment, because when I was homeless, I got called here, there, everywhere by perps, and some of them perped me, some of them were real, and we just didn't. It just was all. You got to watch the video, Negative Association Conditioning, to understand. And I just tried to tell the man, look, you're in the first stages, man. These decisions you make now are going to impact the rest of your targeting and the rest of your life as a TI, because you got a little money saved up, but you're running all over the world and you think there's a hit on you. because all these people are doing all this street theater, and then you done called your family and look crazy to them, and now they're shying away because they think because you're saying you got a hit and all this unbelievable stuff you're saying, they think you're on drugs or you've lost your mind. So they're shying away. So you're destroying yourself, and then when it comes down to it, all that stuff they've done and all the stuff that they forced you to do that nobody knows they forced you to do through psyops, but you did it. There's no proof.
Means nothing.
Means nothing.
And you've
And
lost
now you've done made all these decisions, and now it looks like
your eyesight
yeah,
completely.
it's horrible, man. Okay, let me read some more comments. I thank everybody for coming out, though. I really do. Every time I try to send an email, it does not go through. I've got an email from you before, I think. Oh, is there any other way I can contact you? Because I don't want to give this number out in these comments, if you know what I mean. Hood Ross said LMAO, my G, real talk. Really, I live right next to the coconut oil refinery being gang stalked by the big oil. I believe that. Oh, I believe that 100%. I can talk to him, Damon Epstein. Oh, okay. They even do street theater in the courthouse. Oh yeah. I was in court Friday. I wish I was more tech savvy. Holly, I will try to email you guys my phone number. Here's the thing. If you don't take their bait, they impersonate you to get it done. Evil is, yes, they've done that. I will try to. Thank you, Irene. Just Irene. If you don't, all I'm asking, man, is this guy, uh, when you talk to him and if he does agree to talk to you, I don't even know. This dude is really, really freaked out right now.
He's delicate.
He's delicate. Just don't refer him to nobody that you don't know 100% is not a perp because this dude is in a delicate stage, a make or break stage, and he don't need no perps right now. If they look in your eyes, they casually help. They won't look in mine eye. They're a part of it. They'll give you a place to stay for the life insurance payout on your Silverline and Finch. I know what you're talking about, man. I went 5 different places and I was in what is that that small town in Texas? I'm not even going to say that name of that town in Texas. Anyway, Texas, Pennsylvania, Florida, uh, Texas, Pennsylvania, Florida. I'm trying to think of every place in 2018 because I was going on YouTube saying what was going on with me, and people would be like, come here," and it would either be a setup or they would turn around like 3 or 4 hours later, kick me out, and say, "Well, you're a perp," and and then one woman even said she had a tin popcorn bucket full of butcher knives, and she thought people were cloaking in her house. This woman was a real TI, but I spent the night. And the next morning she said, I caught you disappearing from downstairs and showing up upstairs and you can morph and I just can't have nobody that can morph and go from top to bottom floor in my house. Well, I wasn't doing none of that. But in her mind, she was convinced that. They had her convinced that. And she's a real TI though. She wasn't trying to set me up. She really, really was. So you really got to be very careful. They'll give you a place. Joining in late from Cincinnati. Hey, very soon. Glad you made it. Yeah, I found you on Quora. Dominique said I found you on Florida hedge funds. Press like button and share. Yeah, please press the like button. So uh, they've really just helped me defeat the algorithm. Okay, and while some have made careers enforcing organized homelessness, forced poverty, and chronic pain, black hole cheers always yes. Mossy Man News said David. Mossy Man News, is it David S? Am I right? David, that picture I sent you on Twitter was bunk. I'm sorry about that. I feel dumb now. Oh, okay. I almost shared it on this live because that was a good picture. Dave, I'm totally alone on the West Coast. I'm solo. Okay. Insurance ads. All right, Irene, we'll get that took care of when I'll contact him and anybody else that would like to talk to him and reach out. Just man, please be delicate with this man. He's terrified. Happened to me in Florida. Yeah, Florida's a rough one. The worst states I've been in, just me personally, is Florida, Texas. Um, Florida and Texas is the worst states I've been in. I'm not saying there's not bad worse states. The most easiest state I've been in is Iowa. That's just me personally. I'm not saying they don't target you in Iowa. I was targeted and stalked, but not near as bad as some of them other states. All my lifetime. It's like in Iowa, you got some people who are forced to do it, but really don't want to do it deep down. They still have a conscience, but they do it because they want to fit in. Hi, Lorraine, and my cat comes to my phone every time she hears your voice. No joke. Huh. Kentucky's bad. What's the metal name you wear on your neck? Uh, Louisiana. Yeah, Louisiana's bad. I was in Louisiana. I was in Baton Rouge, homeless, walking around. The shelter would turn me down. They all laughed. They wouldn't give me nothing. Baton Rouge is rough. Telling you, I walked down. My phone got hacked one day, and I spent 5 hours on the phone with the TI from Hawaii that was helping me navigate with her GPS because my GPS was hacked trying to get to the Salvation Army in Baton Rouge. And anybody who knows Baton Rouge knows you got to walk through the trenches to get to the Baton Rouge. If you're walking from downtown Baton Rouge to the Salvation Army and you're taking the way the GPS shows, it takes you straight through the hood. Matter of fact, uh, I had to walk through there at 8 o'clock. It was 8 o'clock at night by the time I made the Salvation Army. And anybody knows where that Salvation Army, it's actually off Airline and in the hood. And I'm talking about bad area. Baton Rouge is no joke. And Barry Seals got killed, matter of fact, at that Salvation Army. If anybody knows who Barry Seals is, he got assassinated at that Salvation Army. Okay, let me get back. I got robbed over 20 grand in Florida. Oh, it's an organite pendant, but it's a certain kind. So if you comment on this video afterwards, I'll send you the link. And but let me get back with you because some people have been buying from the company now and they're not making it the same way they used to. So I do not want to refer it to you right now. So let me make sure that I talked to another TI who's getting in touch with the company because the back of hers looks different than the back of mine and it's not metal. So if the company stopped making it right, I'm not even gonna refer it to people no more. Dance Battle Angel. On positive note, I have witnessed people working to stop this dangers of 5G research starts because that's a blanket for it's really out. Really is a hit program. On my word, yes, I've been there. Thank you, Irene. Yeah, so if he's got a camper, he's sitting pretty. His best bet's to hold up in the campground. Uses little. That's what I'm trying to tell him. Seattle's bad too. Yes, I've heard Washington was really horrible. Hello, everyone. I'm late. Hope all's well considering what we deal with. Hi, Lindy. Yeah, Baton Rouge was so horrible because if you knew the story of what happened in Baton Rouge, I'm gonna tell that story one day. I got called down there under false pretenses I was being helped. When I got there, these people, it's too long a story to tell today, but I got perked big time. Then they factory reset my phone walking down the road. I'm looking at my phone just resets and everything's been deleted and it's like a new phone. So I advise you to always write down your contacts and your phone numbers. Amy said it's understandable that Silicon Valley would be very bad. The heart of tech industry, San Jose. Yes, it is. Seattle and Denver are test cities. Oh yeah, I was in Denver. I know all about that. Yep. And they perked me at the airport. They perked me in Lancaster. Not Lancaster. What? Oh, I can't think of the other city. There was a city this girl who was supposed to be a TI invited me to. I get there. This happened in 2022. That's what led up to me meeting Holly. That's why when I was asked in an interview recently what I would change if I could go back and change anything. Well, if I could go back and change anything, if I change one thing, I might not meet Holly. And Holly is is I've never met, I've never experienced real love. So I love her to death, and it was a miracle we met. It could never happen. It's like winning the lottery for Ti. And so if I changed one thing, I couldn't answer that right, because if I changed one thing, it might throw that whole thing off. I know y'all seen the butterfly effect, but yeah, Seattle and Denver. Denver is man, a horrible hub for TIs. I tell TIs, if I'm on a map and I'm driving to California from the East Coast, I'm avoiding Denver and Texas. Palo Alto, what's that mean? Do you think the government shutdown will affect the program? Well, it hasn't yet. Like, they were making farting sounds on my. I was trying to hold a conversation earlier. They were making farting sounds, and then like I said, Holly, listen to this, and she listened. They were Holly. Were they not doing it all the time,
Yes,
constantly?
yes.
So then I said, well, hold on. I'm gonna get a phone and record it. And I shouldn't have said it. I should have just recorded it, because as soon as I said that, the farting sound stopped. I mean, they're immature. All right, Melvina Dice said something interesting. I'm gonna show you how this works right now. Okay, so Melvina Dice, and I'm not saying nothing. I'm just showing you how the system works. Negative association conditioning. I just told Holly about a van passing by doing a cutthroat sign when I was in Mississippi. Now she comes in the chat and says, and shows me the cutthroat sign. I'm sorry for asking. Let's see, where was the first message? Dolls hanging from their car in mirrors whisper to me in the back of the supermarket, "What are you waiting for? It's only," and shows me the cutthroat sign. You see, she's not a perp, but negative association conditioning will make you think, hey, she said cutthroat sign. And right before we started talking about and did a live, I was talking about this van that drove by me in Mississippi. Oh yeah, let me tell you what happened in Mississippi while I have this in my head, because I've had so many experiences that trauma makes it hard. So this van, I'm getting perked in Mississippi, so I'm walking around with a literal knife. I've got a knife out in my hand, and I stopped where perps could hear me, and I said, you know what? If y'all come and try to grab me, because this new in the program, I yelled this out. I said, y'all come and try to grab me. I said, y'all know what I'm gonna do, because I had done tried to kill myself by cutting my throat before, and I got 17 staples and a blood transfusion. Um, so so they knew what I meant. So my mom calls me out of the blue, and I hadn't been in touch with my mom in a couple of days. I just now made it to Mississippi. She called me out of the blue and says, "David, the police called and said you're walking around with a knife in your hand out, and that you better put it up or they're going to pick you up." Well, I put it up for a minute. I said, "Okay, mom," and then I put it up for a minute, and then I said, "You know what? Maybe that's just to get me to put it up or something." I to this day don't know how she found out, who called her, but police officers right after that passed me, didn't stop. So I pulled it out of my pocket and kept on strolling with it. And then this dude drove by and did the cutthroat sign, which is some kind of it's got a deeper meaning than that sign right there's got some kind of Masonic meaning. I really don't know offhand. If anybody does, you can chime in. I'm panicked when I see how many people are involved in deleting me. I'm happy for both of you. Thanks, Irene. Buy a few external backup drives as your bet. Yeah, you can buy backup hard drives. I've got all my videos, all my stuff's on backup hard drives that are hidden. My brother was targeted. He said Colorado Springs was the worst for him. Wow, that's weird because, wow, okay. There's a dude Amy. There's the reason I said that's weird is because there's a dude that I've been talking to all week. I've talked to him like 10 hours. A good dude. He's drove across the USA and back, but he bought some kind of campground. He stopped at some campground in Colorado Springs and got perked hard. He said it's rough there. I avoid military bases, period. Hood Ross said press the like button. Love you, David and Holly. Dances Angels Battle. Dance Battle Angel with Prophet 9881 said, "Love you, David and Holly. We love everybody going through this. Whether we get along, argue, whatever, we all have one common thing, and that's we're being tortured. Our lives have been destroyed, and I feel like that connects us whether we get along or not. Um, you know, thing is, we're all connected. Actually, that is my problem. I have all my files on micro SD card that holds 30 cards. I have portable hard drive as well. Now my backup is too big. Wow. Yeah, that's a situation for real. Get confirmed. You can buy 1 terabyte backups. My hard drive is a 1 terabyte hard drive external. Wow, that means you got a lot of evidence toward the Tera. All right, I also get covert break and enter, so I cannot leave it at home. Oh yeah, yeah. Don't never leave your evidence at home alone. I get the something myself. Military is involved in my targeting and medical. I believe you, Lindy. And the reason, when I say military is involved, I'm not talking about soldiers who fought for this country, who sign up to defend their country. This is top secret classified programs, and so it's not that we're not anti-military. That we respect the people who actually fight for this country, who know nothing about this stuff but to fight and defend this country for what it's. But
But the Navy has the most funds for directed energy weapons. They are given the most funds to research directed energy. So military, that's
yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, at the same time, we respect the people that go out to put our life on their line for us. But at the ones who are, yeah, yeah, this program is beyond evil, staying being the light. And Holly has you in the military part.
Oh, yeah, I was born on a military base. My father was in the Air Force. My grandfather was a brigadier general. So a lot of people are targeted that have military in their family. At least that's what I've heard from a lot of people.
Yeah, she was born on a military base. Great Lakes Naval Base is close to me. My dad was career military and Navy. Yeah, see, my grandpa was high up in the Navy, 20 years, second to command on a battleship. Um, I've considered dropping SD cards in a bank storage box, but that's more trust. Slow Dagger, Irene said. Whistleblower, but people swear I'm a prosty. LOL. Finch, what did you whistleblow on, if you don't mind me asking? If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. Nowhere to run and hide. Learn not to sweat the small stuff. Hard your peace. Yes. Colorado Springs has 3 Air Force bases and 1 Army base. They keep saying my memory's full when it's not. They don't want me taking pics. Yeah, Hood Ross, Holly, when she see these stalkers are very very slick. Now they're always going to leave plausible deniability. If if you're getting hardcore evidence that's undeniable evidence, more than likely you're in a town that's all. I just don't understand. Um, mostly you're in a town where everybody's compromised, in my opinion. If they're bold enough to do that, so they've slowed down since my YouTube channel has grown on leaving evidence that's undeniable. See, we collect evidence on externals. We got plenty of evidence, but we don't like showing evidence unless it's undeniable evidence because you know how they leave plausible deniability where you can just explain it away. So any TIs who get hardcore evidence with no plausible deniability, keep that evidence safe because it's hard to get that evidence. They keep saying my memory's full. Oh yeah. So what they do to Holly's phone, I called Holly on FaceTime 2 different times this year, and somebody else has answered it. It's been the same dude, and they will take the camera option all the way out of the phone. They'll delete her camera off the phone. Um, just different stuff like that, where she can't even take pictures when she needs to. She'll have to go up in the apps, unhide the camera thing, and put the camera icon back in her phone, back on her phone. Change will happen when whistleblower movement. Yeah, see, the thing about whistleblowers, we don't have the whole truth if you think about it. All this stuff we're seeing, all this information, the biofield, all this information that we got is not what's going on. That's the information they want us to know. So all we can do is guess by what we're given. All this information, real whistleblowers, real people who really work on projects, top secret projects, sign non-disclosure agreements they'll be charged with espionage if they reveal any of the secrets of the projects they worked on. That's why Edward Snowden was charged with espionage because when he worked on the project, he signed non-disclosure agreement. So we may not even really have nowhere near the truth, to tell you the truth. And then if you look at, I was listening to somebody the other day who worked on the Montauk project, and he said I can talk about that because I did not work directly with it. He said, but the dude asked him to talk about the Phoenix project. He said I can't talk about the Phoenix project because I signed a non-disclosure agreement and I would get charged with espionage. So it makes sense that all this stuff they're feeding us may have us down all kinds of wrong rabbit holes. Okay. They keep saying, well, change will happen when whistleblower toward the terror. I hate to tell you, if this drive being wiped would be your biggest threat. They can remotely wipe drives anywhere. There'd be no guaranteed safe space for them. Finch, I've been covertly targeted since childhood, but 7 years ago it went overt. All love. We are all family. Father in the military. It's possible your parents were also in a cult. That's my scenario. My family's agreed I should be a human sacrifice. There appears to be a huge number PDFs. They always win. People who believe in human sacrifice. Yes. The energy. Uh, this is a negative energy grid we're dealing with here. The whole world is hijacked into a negative energy grid. So they're trying to take the love out of people. Love's the most powerful energy in the world. And a lot of targets, and I fell into this for a long time. And they try to get me that way still, to be a bitter person. Bitter, because when you're vibrating on a bitter frequency and you don't have no more love in you because they've done turned you so bitter, then they've won. They've won because you got to keep love in you. You got to keep a good person in you. You can't let them change your identity. They destroyed my father, military honors, tore up pictures I can never get, copy, or get back. Hood Ross said, Amen. My dad's dead now. I do think he was a Mason, Lindy said. Canaanites, Hivites, and all the other ITs the Bible's warned us about. Uh, I found a video I did in 2015 where I was explaining how Cain was from the serpent. And anyway, I broke it down and all that. And then at the end of the video, I did not know nothing about targeting. I was talking about how I was being smeared everywhere. Everybody was spreading rumors, and everybody was seeming looking at me mean, and I didn't understand what was going on. And it would be 2018 before I found out what was going on 3 years later. But I found that video. I'm thinking about sharing it with y'all one day, but because I have it. I had an ambulance driver ask if I had a family in the military. DMC said they compartmentalize, only need to know. DMC, you've been around a long time, uh, and I'm glad to see the Most High is keeping you under His wings. That's awesome because I know I've seen you around since 2022. Since I was in the hospital on Twitter, I remember uh, uh, you being posting on X and Twitter back in the day. So I know you've been around for a while and been through hell and back. Yes, I believe. Yeah, I believe that too, Holly. She said she believed that too.
Yeah.
Veterans are easy to follow medically through the VA. Yeah, well, they don't need nothing to follow anybody anymore, but yeah, they could follow them through the VA. Uh, Interesting. I don't know about my dad in the army, but he was. Me too. Who, Fort something, which had bad things. Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Ridicule stuff's closed now. There was a freedom rally in Alberta. Those folks want to have a referendum attempt to make Alberta an independent country. Who knows if that could happen? Targeted 714. Hello, everyone. Caught a live. Whoop. Everyone, Kentucky is compromised. Uh, Lorraine said. Hood Ross said, "Yup." I'm trying to read these quick because we're fixing to get off here, and because of some abuse I went through at 5 years old, I ended up in the hospital. Medical is involved in mine. Oh yeah. See, I can't talk about medical much because my channel is censored. Like some people can say the V word, some people can say uh, th- anything regarding to that. I can't get away with saying none of that on my channel. Uh, Now I am gonna try to reorganize my channel. I got a notification that if I could reorganize my channel and apply for monetization, which I'm gonna try to do. Not that I make much money anyway on here. I made $50, which is enough to pay for Zoom and video editing every month. Um, so that would help right there, just having the money to pay for that. Because I try not to. I try not to ask for nothing on here. However, we may have to start making a wish list for the cats outside, and I can show you pictures of each of them to prove it. We have 10 cats to maybe more than that out there that we know of that we feed every day, plus two cats in here, and it's just getting overwhelming. It started out as three feral cats outside. Now it's a whole colony, but we love our cats. I feed, we love our cats. I keep them fresh water out there every day. Um, because animals are people. Animals are spiritual beings too, and animals deserve to be treated good. We took their land. We They have nowhere to go. It's pitiful. But cats are very good animals, and every animal is very good in my opinion. I'll show the same respect to a possum. That's just my. I love animals. But yeah, if anybody knows how to go about of creating a wish list where your address is not exposed, because we don't give our address out because of all the threats and stuff over the years, just please let me know or email me that because it's very crucial that our cats continue to get fed. Not, and I think maybe they could hunt and find their own food, but once they're used to eating and it ain't we don't buy expensive food. We just buy kibbles, dry food, and cans of wet food for them outside.
Once they're
Um,
used to being fed.
yeah, PDF pediatrician. It involved my kids having found out involves multiple school employees. Wow, Finch. Sorry about that. I can see where that would get a little hairy.
The one about
Gaslighting equals explaining it away. I don't know what that's in referring to. I'm sorry, Lorraine. I'm so far behind on uh I don't. I'm so far behind on my comments. I don't know what I was talking about when you said that. Interesting. My dad called me trauma by the things he did to me and another man he gave me to him. The more I read here, the better I feel because I can relate. They covered up the 20 PDF victims by ignoring them and gang stalking us. Preach. They shredded a lot of it. Montauk is quantum backwards. Wow, I just now realized that. Preach. Highland Rain. Carrie from Ponca City. Okay. So glad I had Jesus. I couldn't do this without him. I have pics of invisible drones projecting images, like the pic of this ghost on my account. Uh, Reach out to me with them pics. Invisible drones project. They may be making you see holograms. Like they can manipulate false fiends. That's another story for another day because it's too long to explain. Negative energies, the demon realm. Yes. Everyone be careful. The next couple weeks is a sacrifice time. We all have God in us. All the Fusion Center gift card people at this shelter and signed an NDA. I did not, and exposing everything. No, I'm talking about Irene. When I say NDAs, I'm talking about NSA agents, uh, people,
CIA.
CIA, people who are high up when they work on projects. Which is why Robert Duncan, you'll never find Project Soul Catcher one. And Robert Duncan explained this to me in a Zoom when I asked him about it, and it's recorded somewhere on the internet. If I could find it, me asking him this question. I asked him, "Where's Project Soul Catcher one?" Because I've always tried to find it. And he said, "Well, I was going to release it, but I remembered I would have got in big trouble and been in jail if I'd have released it." And I'm assuming that's why. Greater is He that's in me. I'm a born again Baptist. Awesome, Lori. Maybe they put something in the whiskey. I was telling Freedom Rally Live about the movie Bob. I must have missed that one. Whatever they're talking about, I must have missed it. I'm so behind on these comments. Food stamps are gone and gift cards are available. Truth, unspeakable joy, iHeartRadio, gospel station, rock. Yeah, music. If you listen to the right music for 6 months straight with headphones above the volume of your inner voice, V2K, or whatever, it can deconstruct years of brain entrainment. TI's our man on the run, running man. All right, we got to hurry up and get out. Okay, Amy. Army cars are gang stalking me and two in traffic. I didn't mean following is in tracking. I meant following our medical history. Oh, okay, sorry, Amy. Medical for sure. Thank you, everyone, for everyone's perspective. I drove past town with a military base. I drove by LAV that was driving on the street and saw three fighter jets fly over here. LAV is a light armored vehicle, a tank on wheels. My father also was in the war in Afghanistan, Iran. Can this be the reason that they targeted me since birth? Yeah, that could be a reason. Um, There's a PlayStation playlist on my channel explains my situation. They sold my ex revenge for hire service to pin him on it. Hey, will you click Finch's name and subscribe to that person? I want to check out the channel he's talking about. Just hit right there. It should let you go to the channel. Oh, well, never mind. Just I'm gonna write it down. I know what it is. I know you just put the at. I will do it afterwards. I can remember that. That's an easy name to remember. Yes, Palo Alto's a huge VA hospital. Same here. I started feeding homeless cats, and more keep showing up. Yeah, but if you can't feed them, then they're out there desperate, hungry, fighting, and it just gets overwhelming. And I'm trying to get, can you get a P.O. box? Yeah, we could do that. I don't leave the house, so I can't actually sign up for a P.O. box. They want you in person. Can we subscribe and pay monthly? See, I don't like doing that because it's not about money with us, but I would rather have a list. That way y'all are buying cat food and y'all know that y'all are buying cat food, because that don't leave no room for nobody to say I have ulterior motives in doing this. But yeah, I'm gonna figure something out. I just can't figure out. I've got the wish list on Amazon. I just got to put the stuff on the wish list and figure out how to keep my address private. But the PO box thing is a good idea. I've thought about that. Palo Alto has a huge. I saw a deer stamped hologram in my yard. Sounded like it too. I believe you. They're really manipulating stuff with tech now. In late will have to rewatch. They constantly try to gaslight me with a fierce smear campaign against me. Was Robert Death a rumor? Is he still around?
Rumor.
I think Robert Duncan faked his death to get out of the limelight, the publicity. I think he probably went overboard, exposing too much. You got to understand, Robert Duncan had tons of TIs constantly texting him, emailing him. Then he had threats. Then he had people asking questions, needing him to explain stuff. And if he's not dead, that's what I think happened. And if he is dead, God rest his soul. I never could confirm his death. Somebody said they called the morgue. A morgue will not release that information to you. So I don't know. I've never seen a death certificate. Yup, make music too. Love and respect to you too, Irene. I don't. If Robert Duncan, I don't know if he's alive or not.
I think he's alive.
We think he is, but we don't know. They started trying to set up and frame me in 2012 when the PDF stitches situation started touching my kid. Yeah, Finch, we're gonna look into that. I'm gonna check out that when we get off here. God bless you too, Hood. Hey, one guy who was targeting me in a plane wreck, gone at Table Rock, Lale, he stole our property. He's home now. Trash seems to take care of itself. Yes, it does. No, Robert Duncan's dead. Warriors Enlightened, did you see the death certificate? You see the obituary? Just wondered how you know that. I feel you. Lindy Evans just said us. I mean, unless they cloned him or him somewhere. Hood Ross said, what? They clone here at Cocoa Refinery, Bloods Oil. I'm just saying, like, I went down that rabbit hole in Robert Duncan. I looked for death certificate. I looked for obituary. Um,
There isn't one.
there's got to be some kind of paper saying he's dead. Amazon has an option for pickup. Amazon lockers are a locked box beside the gas station outdoors. Punch in the code and the door's open. It is in the address. Huh. Hold on. In my town, Amazon has an option for pickup at Amazon pickup lockers. There's a lock box beside the gas station. Outdoors, punch in the code and the door opens 24/7. It is in the address. Oh, cool. Here's a weird question for everyone. Does anyone see mirages anymore? Like when it's so hot, I haven't seen one in a long time. I wondered if they were holograms. Options of the checkout page. Okay, I see rest in peace if not. Yeah, same here, Trevor. I mean, I don't know if he's uh very soon said I think Robert Duncan's alive. And Lorraine, if Lorraine's still in here, I'm sorry, I did not know. I was so behind. I did not know what that means, what you meant by gaslighting equals explaining it away. Was you talking about when I was talking about they leave plausible deniability when they leave evidence? Just wondering. I'm sorry, I was so behind. I did not know what you were talking about when you said gaslighting equals being explained along the way. I'm assuming it was when I was talking about how evidence, a lot of these perps will leave plausible deniability. Like, perps pull in our driveway all the time, act like they're getting something out of their car. And then you show somebody and they'll be like, well, how do you know they wasn't getting something out of your car? Well, when they do it 10 times a week in a neighborhood that hardly has any weird activity going on, and the weird activities constantly outside your house, I'll, you know, that that's plausible deniability. Or if a car comes and sits on the phone in front of the house, you know it's not normal because you live there every day. You know what's normal and what's not. So you know the same cars and all this keep doing this. But look, oh, he was just on the phone. He just stopped and be on the phone so he wouldn't be driving. Well, it could be that, but targets know their situation, they know their area, and they know what's not normal. But when they try to explain it to other people, they don't understand because they're not here every day. So they think, well, just little stuff.
Lorraine responded.
Okay, okay. I'm all right. I was just making sure, Lorraine. I also think Duncan's. Oh yeah, Duncan. I don't know if Duncan's. I know I spent 2 days searching to see if Duncan was dead, and I couldn't find death certificates. And the morgue theory did not pan out because
No, I
you have to
really
have personal information about the person, and the morgue usually won't even release it then. I chase them off. I'm not nice to them. None of what we're experiencing is normal because it's not happening to others in the neighborhood. Exactly. Or, but what I'm saying is like if I was to post, these two cars did this thing where they stopped in front of the house, got out and done something, and they were in sync. Anyway, these cars did not belong in this neighborhood. But if I was to post that video, I'd get so many comments on, how do you know they wasn't trying to do this? How do you know they wasn't trying to do that? And so many theories and all that does is engage you to argue for brain entrainment. And I learned a big lesson in that this week. Um, but we have a couple. We have some evidence that's no plausible deniability. Some drones, some stalkers on the road. That stalker with that skeleton that drove up to you on the back of the car, drove up to you and said you're dead.
Yeah.
Put the picture in the things. We got the actual vehicle with the gold skeleton on the back, and this was not even near Halloween. I think it was in January. They had a gold skeleton, big gold skeleton. Tell what happened, Holly.
Yeah. They drove by with a big skeleton on the back, and then when I drove by, it held a sign up, "You're dead."
Yeah, we got a picture of that vehicle.
Sad.
He did talk about just leaving technology behind before you die from your situation. What is the PDF situation? Oh, I'm sure. I'm finna get off here, y'all. I went over uh, uh but hey, the people who told me that they were willing to talk to this new TI, I really appreciate it. I've spent 2 hours every day, and I'm gonna continue helping him and talking to him because that was me. I was freaked out, so I know how he feels. But anybody else, it's like he constantly needs somebody on the phone. So if the more people he's got to talk to and call and answer the phone, the more safe he'll be right now, is how he feels. And I will look into though. Yeah, yeah, Lorraine, exactly. Plausible deniability is the name of the game for them. Yes, truth serum. That's exactly right. PDF file, the code word for child likers. Um, Finch, I'm gonna. Well, I've done told you what I was gonna do. He has a sociopathic way. He laughs about that while he speaks openly. Targeted BA said, "What's up?" I saw the drop off. 20 kids in 5 cars. Saw how they timed it and hid behind a bus to harass me in my town. Uh, Duncan, yeah, yeah, Duncan did smile in one of his videos, especially the last video I shared. He was laughing about the technology. But I think Duncan, you know, the technology Duncan describes, I've experienced it the exact same way he described it. So people can say what they want about his information, and all that. Uh, I think Duncan, a lot of these people. Now, did Duncan tell us everything? No, because if he told us everything, he would have been arrested for espionage. So that's what people don't get. All these NIH studies and all this stuff they release, it's because it's declassified. If anybody gets up here, any whistleblower, and tells us the real story, we'd probably shit a brick, pardon my language, because none of these whistleblowers that are coming out, and I'm not downing them, they're telling you the information they're allowed to share. They're not telling you no classified information, or they'd be strung up and arrested like Snowden, and that's just the facts. So we have to wonder what really is going on. Who really has the answers? Uh, oh yeah, he did very good research, and I know some of them scripts, um, and the way he explains how they log into your brain, and that's why that post I put yesterday on how to defeat mind control technologies, um, if that stuff works for you, that means you're experiencing remote neural attacks and you're experiencing remote neural monitoring. The stuff I posted, spontaneity, redirection, quenching, multitasking, task switching, whichever one you want to call it. The reason that stuff works is because you're remotely being targeted through your brain waves and your neural signature. Now, if that stuff don't work for you and thwart attacks, you're probably getting attacked with something else. Hi, Cat. We're just fixing to leave. True Serum said exactly 100. I will watch it. Thank you. Yes, it's disturbing. So I wonder if they just allowed him because this was coming out just a little leak way. Well, no, Robert Duncan told us a lot of good information. But I don't know. I don't. We. But if I got to thinking the other day, we may. I don't think none of us have the real answers. And when I asked James Martinez, I'm gonna share this and I'm done. Okay, I gotta go. I can't answer no more comments. I'm sorry. Well, I'll answer this. Thank you guys. Enjoy this day. Happy Sunday. Yes, David, your knowledge and how you deliver info has increased with fluidity. Stay blessed and keep speaking truth. Deep State Navy BS. You're welcome, DMC. And Amy said my mother died on 4/4/2020. 4/4/4. My targeted brother died in 5/5/2021. 5/5/5. They used gematria. That is very interesting. That's why they took the gold out of our Goldschlager. Yeah, I've heard colloidal gold destroys nanotech. They attack most when I want to sleep. The cinnamon snaps the gold flakes. Okay, I got to go now. His information could be 30 years old. Yes. Okay, I want to say, what was I going to say though? I was going to say one more thing.
Reiterate if anybody would like to talk to Patrick, to please email them.
Yeah, if there's anybody that would like to talk to Patrick, just send me an email, hollyspunk@gmail.com. I will be, if I really don't know you, I can't guarantee I'm going to allow you to talk to him. I'm sorry, but
He's very delicate.
he's very delicate right now. I've talked to him every day this week. This dude's terrified. He's drove from one end of the U.S. to the other. He's in the first stages of this. And anyway, I forgot what I was going to say, but it was important, but it don't matter. I'm fixing to go. Sorry, Krista. You can still rewind it. But God bless all y'all, and thank y'all for taking the patient time and out of y'all's day to hear what I have to say.
Thank you.
And let us read your comments. Y'all mean the world to us. Y'all are what keeps us going. Helping people. I encourage any TI to help another TI, even if it's helping them talk on the phone, get them through a day, whatever. That is one of the big parts that's helped me and Holly. It helps your trauma. It helps you come out of trauma, especially with self-esteem and stuff. When you notice hey, I just talked that person out of suicide, gave him hope, or hey, I just helped this person do this, or it just helps you. It's just therapeutic. But anyway, God bless TIs, all TIs. And I hope that y'all have a good weekend, good rest of the day.